people messed up, no. Bad news, this to beat your home, nigga. Yeah. Go on, get on his ass real quick one time. 144, baby.
They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they trade that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me whole thought. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I go with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this Lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm too hardcore. Wait up, let me make a call right quick. I'ma start another war. I was hurting when she left, but I don't care about it anymore. I need a Vaseline like my Nina Puffer boy. Took a Zach, watch the door. Matter of fact, like the door. Any problem, let them come. We gon' snatch they soul like Shane Shaw. Put them out of service, keep them tools like Miss Harper. Try to hope it's way too late. I'm headed straight to the safe. Throw that one up like a trophy. I'm that nigga, ain't no debate. Told them boys we taking notes. Call them up like set the date. This shit a piece of cake. Yeah, my bitches came from Whole Foods. Told them put on that top 3. Then bring me my house shoes. Don't make excuses, make moves. These niggas ungrateful, gotta show them U.P.K rules. I'm making hits like I can't. Hey, look, they get on you gon' represent, I said, of course. Soon as they trade that beat, I ride that business like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, the whole court. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this Lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm too hardcore. Yeah, I just got off the call. I'ma start another war. Spit a plate up with my niggas, get your knife and your fork. They ain't locked in with the count and when you speaking to me for. Yeah, I just took the floor. Ain't no cowards in my campaign. They can't stop the campaign. Tell them bring the champagne. They know I'm a champion. They can see the outcome. Get them niggas bad, got them tied down and out there. You can't do with them steppers. Niggas been down since day one. We run up the bands, bitch like Dylan. They say you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they trade that beat, I read that bitch just like a horse. Yeah, about to go dumb. Yeah, bitch, we whole court. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this low, so that bitch is either or. I told you niggas, you ain't cut like that. I swear I'm too hardcore. And I just made the call. We gon' start another war. Yeah.
I'ma show them it's a different. I'ma only say this once, you better listen. When West is where it started, so you know that's where it finished. We got one main objective, nigga, let's complete the mission. We explaining what the who? Lead them and they feeling snub on me. Only time I put my nose inside your business. I don't want my gun to show, so I wear my shirt bigger. This is our world, cause if this was your world, I'd be the villain. Break his whole block down. All I gotta do is spin and stuff in Mac shell drums. Turn your crib to Sunday dinner. You don't live here, you visit. This my shit. It's a different. I don't do lean. Lobos in my cup is what I'm sipping. I don't do dreams. I just say a prayer, go and get it. And it all work out. You know this ain't for play, this ain't for fun. I've been destined for this shit. Niggas know that I'm the one. This shit can go 100 yards. You would think I kicked a punt. You would think I had a flare gun on go. You niggas run. They like he an Israelite. All he rap about is guns. Bitch, I'm an Israelite that own a lot of guns. What that nigga said, who? Tell him watch the grind. You must be crazy if you ever think of stopping mine. Knock all of the chains out you niggas. Make them drop a dime. This tourist hole, it is not a zodiac sign. Piss me off, get me in my bag, make me drop a bomb, drop a nuke, make the world freeze. I can stop the time. Watch what you do, cause once you do it, you can't press rewind. On purpose, I do the opposite, so nigga cross the line. This is different. I ain't looking for trouble, but on point, case you think I rap. Turn him to a vegetable. Lead this nigga Cabbage Patch. No new niggas with me. If you see him, then they got my back. Got it out the mud, big stepping. You can see the tracks. Follow me. I could teach you something. Have her see relax. If you gonna speak on anything, just make sure it's fact. It's a difference. We are not the same. Help them notice that. Pay attention. Watch how we move. We can know we can't hang around all real niggas. Then we move as one. This ain't Fortnite. Get into it. Ain't no 1v1. The smoke I bring to you, you can't take it in with your lung. Life about warfare. We just make it look fun. She asked what kind of oil I got on. I told her give them some. What's the only real niggas left? You better get you one. Chicken shop giving out wings if I pull a drum. It's a difference. You better watch your words before you eat your tongue. Scrape the whole plate. Not a trace nor leave a crumb. Ice falling off the watching chain like it's freezer burn. Daring somebody to say my name, I will eat for him. Loyalty means everything, so I don't eat with them.
Rolling on it, what it is.
Purchase your tracks today.
Know the people been waiting for a minute for something authentic. Came in the truth and bossed in it, made niggas regroup. Had to shed light on the false image. I.S.U.P.K whole court. Now who the fuck won scrimmage? 2 words for soft niggas. What is good riddance? Don't affiliate with feminine symptoms. I know you feel me, nigga. This a death threat to hip hop. You don't stop that weak shit, I'ma mix your lean with some grimlock. When the last time you heard it this raw? What I wish for's when the earth inherited by the piss poor. We been to war, them the ones I'm taking risks for. Ain't got no picks or no cards to hold. Holy angels watch my steps, them Glock guard my soul. Can't let them leave my body cold. I know you feel me, nigga. Let the wicked weep and the meek prevail. God never been 50-50. I should now wake and sleep a cell. Let the righteous cry, silence the pretender. A rebel without a cause, as long as I remember. That's taking the kingdom, the only thing on my agenda. Can't avoid me, nigga. Middle finger to the ones that try to destroy me. Revenge of beauty, I'm a beast. I told the bitch she can't eat, let she join me for dinner. My God ain't got no regard for a sinner. One call fall on him like timber. I know you feel me, nigga. In the eyes of terror, I stand still. Go to work for the colony, bring it back to the anthill. Plus everything I drop heavy as an anvil. Show you how to stand like a man in this damn field. I know you feel me, nigga. Fuck equality, it gotta be one man win and the rest lose. Wave never stayed him, I'm calculating my next move. U.P.K will real niggas seek refuge. Body shots for pause, that'll get you bruised. My niggas whole ranker, check your little attitude. I came to fuck up your move on your little holiday like I'm Mr. Scrooge. Resurrected from the grave, walking from the fall. Visions in my eyes, gripping the mic, screaming God bless the underdog down by the letter. And live by that protocol, walk by faith, not by sight. Ain't no hope in forget the struggles. Life like some war, resist, or get pulled into a world that never left you. I will endure, election will be sure, correction will be swift. No Will Smith, but I am legend. What else would you call the killer of deception? A leader got soldiers on post in every direction. All gold like a German shepherd, young and a restless, wear honor like a diamond necklace. I know you feel me, nigga.
Purchase your tracks today.
It's rolling on it, what is it?
From Westworld.
Let's get it.
Don't be sure, tell them make sure. If not, we gon' make a clip say it hold 20, but I think it could take more. Grab a stick, fire on your camp, we gon' make s'mores. I ain't satisfied with my spot, then I'ma take yours. No matter how many roadblocks in my way, I'ma break forward. This path I'm on is so damn narrow, I just stay forward. Put them on my plate, I'm never full, I just ate more. Put them on my plate, I'm never full, give me 8 more. Nigga, I don't sugarcoat shit, bitch, I'm straightforward. Don't give a fuck if they don't let me in, I just break doors. Ballin' so hard, they asking what team that I play for. Scammer who? They ain't stop making Making guns when they made y'all sick with it. Feeling like I woke up with stage 4. Game
Let nobody sell you crack. You know why? Because I never saw you before. But you a black man like me. That's right. And it's worth something.
This is Black Watch with Commanding General Yahanna, the only man to lead blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans.
God made man on this earth. The white man he make man. God made man. God wants man to obey him.
Bringing you real news.
You don't need a black man in the White House. You need a black man in every black house.
For many years, there's a lot of black people who didn't realize how deep the racism of white America was.
You ain't gonna do nothing unless you decide where you gonna stand at with the Most High.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Righteous solutions to issues plaguing our nation.
Boy, you better wake up and see the power that is within blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians.
Join us every Monday from 9 to 11 p.m. Black Watch. Let the show begin.
ISUPK.com is the website. Speaking of ISUPK.com, first of all, I want to thank everybody for being so patient and disciplined in working on, supporting the truth and paying your tithes through the ISUPK.com website. I got a sneak peek again today at the new site build, and it is amazing. I saw it today. Going to launch soon. I know everybody been waiting, but it is the most interactive website that we're going to have in a long time. Everybody will be able to get in there and flood it with whatever information they want to flood it with. And so we had a perfect time to get it in. I know it's been a long time coming. Big shout out to General SHALAM for making it happen. You understand? It's going to jump off nice. So, it might be this week. I know I'm saying it. It's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, let's hang with it. So big shout out to everybody that supported that. We got a whole lot to talk about tonight. A whole lot of evil that has gone on in the kingdom that's got to be rectified in the name of the Lord. So where we going first round, like Bob? Come. Let's get into it. All right. Okay, you got it back. Nice and strong. Oh, also big shout out to Sister Shwashana, General Muhammad's wife. We got to hang with her this week as she did her show downtown. It was a hell of a show, or a hell of a night. She tore the roof off that joint. It was a beautiful thing. So big shout out to her. Slocky, I didn't mean to jump ahead. Anything else I'm missing, y'all? What else was in the camp? A big shout out to the camps in New York. Big shout out to Times Square. Heard y'all put it down. Big shout out to Captain Tazar Yacht. Oh yeah, go ahead, man. Bring it out.
It was a shout out to Captain Tazar Yacht that did the interview with the author of Negroes, the Hebrews. Give him a chance, give him a hand. Well done, well done.
All right.
You got that, bud.
Oh God. He sucker punched me. White Alabama councilman punches black mayor in the presence of an officer after contentious city meeting.
Give me a little more, please.
A white politician in Alabama has been arrested for punching the black mayor of the city he serves in the face, striking him in the chin.
Do we have video? Let's play the video. Also, too, Commander Juliana. Also, I know we'll be doing Black Panther tonight. We'll be going into Black Panther, Kyrie Irving, Kanye West new video, Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle hosted SNL this week. Commander General Yahanna will be going into that and giving you his full review of Black Panther. Give him a hand. Get it on tonight. Full of spoilers, full of them. Spoilers from top to bottom. So that's it. Please, whenever you're ready, everybody.
Go ahead.
Okay.
This is not the first time the elected official has been inappropriate while serving in his position. In 2021, he used the term house nigger in the public forum.
Dang. He called them a white man called him a house nigger.
Thomas Bryant
Dang.
was booked into the Jefferson County
I ain't
Jail
too
around
sure.
10 p.m. Wednesday, later released on a
With
$1,000 bond.
these Christians, man, it's hard, man. You know what I'm saying?
Jefferson County
They
Jail around
truly
10
love the you know.
Hey, Bob, come on.
On Monday, November 7th, surveillance footage from a Tarrant parking lot captured Councilman Thomas Bryant, 78, assaulting and spewing racist epithets at Tarrant mayor.
Do we have the video? Go ahead and play it.
Welcome back, ODH Freestyle News. Today we have an Alabama councilman arrested for punching Alabama City's first black mayor. Thomas Bryant was booked at Jefferson County Jail around 10 p.m. Wednesday and later released on a $1,000 bond. The video clearly shows the Alabama councilman, who has a history of using racial slurs, punching the city's black mayor. The incident occurred in the City Hall parking lot after a heated meeting where the local leader wanted the mayor to hand in his resignation. At the end of the meeting, he approached Bryant, where they were talking near a pickup truck. The mayor kept his distance, but then the councilman stepped forward and punched the mayor in the head as everybody looked on. But as you can see, it looks like the police were already there, who quickly locked this guy up. Now, the councilman was initially charged with harassment, but the charge was upgraded to third-degree assault. He's also called one of the city clerks a pig. I don't know how this guy's still a councilman. This is the same guy that did this. Councilman, degree assault. He's also called one of the city clerks a pig. I don't know how this guy's still a councilman. This is the same guy that did this.
Do we have a house here? Do we? Hey, do we? Would the chief please stand up?
We got elected. Man, he's a big up. Promised them things for the conversation to get a black married.
What point were you trying to even make? Made that poor woman cry. So should this guy still be a councilman? Should he have gotten a higher charge?
Hey, and if I could, sir, this is so sad. And what's not sad is that a white man assaulted another black man for something that he said, because that is normal and really mild compared to what our oppressor has done to us since the time that we've been here. Here's what's sad. The person who put the video out is shocked that a person like this could hold elected office. And that's what's sad, because this punch in the face is going to help him get reelected. There's a story, sir, if I could, of some town. We did the story in here. Some sheriff of some town fired every black person that was on the police force.
I heard about
He
that.
fired every last one. He was on video saying he was never going to hire any, and he was going to fire him because somebody turned him in to the department that watches over police and police activity. He assumed it must have been somebody black. So he said he's not going to hire any more black people, and he's going to fire every black person. And so because of that, the state removed him, got rid of him, and he ran again and got elected again. And he's a sheriff right now. Things like this are going to help them get elected. Like, as we said, as black people looking at this, like, surely justice will prevail, and a person like this will never be mayor. He's going to be governor of that state of Alabama. He's going to win more because he's violent and hateful towards black people. He's going to climb higher. The polls are going to increase in the polls. People are going to like him more because he's violent and hateful to black people. And there is such a special ignorance on black people that we think that racism is a bad thing in politics. Racism is a good thing in politics. It's an excellent thing as long as you're being racist towards the right people. And we're the right people to hate. You better always remember that. You can hate a Mexican. I remember watching Donald Trump going, oh my God, I damn near was flabbergasted. I was aghast by the stuff he was saying. Donald Trump said he had to go to court about something in voting, and he said, well, that judge, he's a Mexican, so he's going to be for the Mexicans because he's Mexican. The reporter said, but he's a Mexican-American. He said, nah, but he's one of them, and he's going to side with them. I was sitting there like, oh my God, they're going to impeach him tomorrow. He's going to be kidding. Hell no, he's not. He's running again. He's going to go run again because he hated Mexicans, he hated black people, and it made his popularity increase. We're the right people to hate. Now, some people you can't hate. There's some people out there not allowed to be hated. But we're the right people to hate. That's the story, sir. Salaki.
We respond well like a good dog to oppression. We respond properly like a real good dog to oppression. Even though this one, I'm a little curious because for the white man to call him an Uncle Tom, I'm not even sure if this ain't a good Christian who's willing to oppress black people and white people that are poor. I mean, do they say what the beef was? Does it go into it at all? Go ahead, you die.
If I'm not mistaken, so we did this story before, which is baffling because we covered this story. The mayor that he punched, he called his wife a house nigga.
The mayor called the white boy's house wife.
It's like said, the devil that punched the mayor,
right?
The house nigga that he called was the mayor's wife, of the wife of the brother he punched. So he punched the brother, but months before he called his wife a house nigga on the podium, and we did that story upstairs, sir.
Okay, so he's okay. But he called his wife a house nigga. I don't get it.
I don't think they say why he did it.
They don't bring out why he said it, just that he said it.
Carl.
So he's been a little. So okay, maybe it is what they say, but it's more. Once again, more proof that putting our trust in this empire is a horrible thing. Just like the scripture said, trust not in Egypt, nor lean on Egypt. We leaning on Egypt hard. Our hope and our dreams is in this place, man. Our hope and our dreams and our future and everything that we ever wanted in life, we believe it's here and nowhere else that it could be. And that's the same state we were in when the Lord sent for us out of these different empires. Every last empire, we didn't want to leave after being slaves for so long. But the Lord, knowing better than us, that's why he called us the children of Israel. You know what we like? We just like a child that play on the playground. And if your parents don't get you off the playground, you're going to pass out from sunstroke because you're going to play on that playground until you fall out. So your parents, knowing better, says, you know what? It's time to go on in now. Come on. And your baby's screaming and crying and don't want to go. But if that baby don't go inside, that baby's not going to be fed. That baby's going to be, have sunstroke, not be able to get up the next morning for school. And that's us. And the Lord is a good parent. It's just why he came for us, even against our will. He came for us to get us up out of here. And best believe the Most High is going to be the enemy in this place when it comes time to get us up out of here. As we get closer to that time, they're going to hate the Most High more. The more they find the truth out and really learn about the Lord and learn that everything they ever learned in all these religions was a lie, they're going to hate the Lord even more. They're going to hate him more. Because if this Negro and his wife is sitting up on the city council being called the N-word and his wife being called the house N-word, what does he actually think he's going to accomplish? What does he think he's going to fix in that county, in that town, in that city? The same thing we've been thinking we're going to fix in this place for so many years, and it's a joke. It's a damn joke. Can I read one? Give me Isaiah 30 and 12. Might take 13, just 30 and 12 for now. Y'all know this scripture. The Most High is going to have to break the oppression off us because we'd stay forever. We'd stay forever and we turn back. You know what I mean? And let me tell you something, which is so, it's going to be so beautiful in the kingdom of heaven, because in the kingdom of heaven won't be no rebellion forever and ever and ever and ever. That'll be the last. There'll be no rebellion against the children of Israel once we are set up in Christ's kingdom. Go ahead, Al.
So God, this is the book of Isaiah, 30, verse 12. Wherefore, thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word.
We despise the Most High's word. We despise the righteous way. Christ said the law hangs on these two things. Love the Lord with all thy heart and all thy soul, and love thy brother as thyself. If you love your brother as yourself, you wouldn't put another nation above your brother. How you gonna love your brother as yourself and put another people over your own brother? That makes no sense to me, man. That's American brainwashing. Go ahead, Al, real quick.
Oh God, because ye despise this word.
You do what?
Despise this word.
They don't just hate this word, they despise this word. They despise the fact that we are the chosen. I mean, you see the stir going on in the news right now over the fact that it's possible we could be the Hebrew Israelites. I mean, in here, we know it's a fact. But just the idea of it has stirred the earth up. I heard some girls in England did a big concert in England with Kanye West printed pictures of Kanye West on their t-shirts. Got all of England stirred up. And let me tell you something about that so-called Jew got something to pay, because he didn't just rob black rappers. That's probably who he robbed the most, thinking they was ignorant and dumb. But he robbed everybody. He white art, rock and roll artists, Caribbean artists. He robbed everybody. And if you say something, you are anti-Semitic. And plenty of these Negroes, like this Negro right here, and his wife sitting up in the mayor's office and doing the bidding of these heathens, thinking that they're going to be down with him. Finish that, because I really... very deep psychological destruction, man, on the minds and the souls of God's chosen people. Anytime you trust in the beating and the oppression, you trust in going to jail and being in shootouts and being on drugs and being in poverty, you trust in that. That's your safe zone. And you got a major problem. They portrayed it real well in that movie Shaft. Remember that movie Shaft, the newer one? Mm-hmm. Remember when the Dominican guy was trying to get the white boy to sell drugs for him? And he went to the white boy and he was like, look, man, around here, I'm the king. I throw my hand out, 3 people die on, on some street. He said, but when I go downtown, I get all choked up. I feel uncomfortable. I want to get uptown. I can't even sit around them people downtown. So he wanted the white boy to sell the drugs for him because he was uncomfortable downtown. He was uncomfortable downtown because that's his enemies downtown. Those are the people that hate him downtown. And if you trust in the oppression they put you in, you'll never advance past them. They want you to trust in that oppression. The Lord don't want you to trust in this oppression. It ain't just the way it is. Damn that. So, go ahead quick.
And perverseness.
And perverseness, man. Which is what's going on in this kingdom here, brother. Perverseness. They done changed the sexuality of people. Millions, they said now. They done did that sex change operation on. I mean, perverse in many ways. Change the identities of the people. All of that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And stay thereon.
And we stay on it. We stay on it. We stay on it. I think that's what Kanye West was trying to say way back when he said slavery is a choice. He didn't understand what he was saying, because he was wrong on that. And slavery is not a choice. But what he didn't understand was that our people get destroyed, and then we like an abused child. You stay on oppression. If You grow up in a house where the family is chaotic and arguing and fighting, you ain't gonna be able to be in a house where you married to somebody now and the house is quiet. The children are in order. There's no fighting going on. You're gonna be uncomfortable. You gotta fight that uncomfortability, man. You gotta fight that, because if you don't, you're gonna run back to the oppression you came from. You're gonna trust in the oppression and run back to that. If you was a stripper, if you was whatever, a drug dealer, or whatever you did out there in the world, you gotta adjust to a life of not being that, especially when you come into the truth. And then you got to fight to stay on. You can't trust in the oppression and go back to selling dope. Not to mention the Lord says 7 demons will take hold of you and destroy you. That's what these Christians do to us when they trust in oppression. When they rule over us with the oppressor, loving him. He got what he deserved, man. And that Edomite. No, I don't want to say that. That ain't true. It's a lot here, though. The Edomite that smacked, that punched the brother out. That ain't right. He didn't get what he deserved, but he should learn a lesson from that. You trying to save a man that hates you, man, by sitting in his offices trying to make his life better instead of making our lives better. And I could imagine how much he see. I'm gonna get up off it though. Go ahead, because I know we got a lot of stories. That was my little thing. To what?
Next story, sir.
Please. Bless up, generals. You good?
Jay Williams goes crazy and rides for Kyrie Irving, calls out Brett Favre and others.
Video. Keep going.
Oh, this is strictly video. Sir.
Oh, strictly video. Okay.
All right. Who's the guy? Who's Jay Williams?
So
Jay Williams is a former NBA basketball player, sir. He stood up for Kyrie Irving and called out the hypocrisy by how they're not talking about Brett Favre and everybody else, but they want to put the spotlight on Kyrie Irving.
Is he black?
Colorado.
Oh, there we go. Well, listen, I got to see this because this got to be the first sports figure. Am I wrong on this? Is this the first sports figure to actually speak up against this Edomite that stole welfare money to build his daughter a playground at her school? This is the first brother to speak up on. Let me tell you something, the truth is going to bring a watershed down on this empire and all the empires of the world. Go ahead, Salah.
Regardless what color, with a state of empathy, right? Regardless what color, what creed, what race you are, I look at people as human beings. I think that's important. But life is always about taking a stand and holding principles. So I want to explain what my stance is as a Black male in this world. And conversations that I've had with my brothers and sisters in the Black community.
And pause that for just a second, y'all. And that whole, regardless of what race you are, that's for white people. That's a white people. Before they curse, would show you we so oppressed. Before you tell a white man the truth about himself, you got to pepper it with, I don't hate you, when he don't never pepper what he's got to say. I mean, the president of the United States was on campaigning on the fact that all Mexicans was rapists. That's what he campaigned on. That they were all rapists, that they were drug dealers and rapists. That's what he campaigned on. Give me a damn break, man. Go ahead, Slop.
Advise what they hear me on. So when I hear what Kyrie Irving has to go through in order to be reinstated, I'm appalled. I'm appalled. And let me give you examples of how I feel like we don't have the same energy and hold other people who have dealt with racial tropes accountable. So when Sarah Silverman does blackface, or when Don Imus says nappy-headed hoes, or when Howard Stern calls somebody the N-word in a skit, or when Brett Favre takes money from Mississippi, we don't ask them to get sensitivity training. We don't ask them to donate $500,000. We don't ask them to meet with the Black National Caucus. They apologize. And then, you know what? The rest of the world moves on. But what I feel like is happening here, and that's how in the Black community, like we've been told that's how the process works, right? Think about that, Bert. That's how the process works. Oh, somebody does a blackface. Oh, it was a misunderstanding. We got it. Okay. You know, is that person really racist? Probably not. Was it ignorant?
You can
Probably
stop it right,
so.
right there.
Oh,
I don't want to wait. You want to hear something?
No.
Listen, what he said was true. Is like I can't even believe, which is so why. And listen, it's so much to this. Is what he said is not only is it so damn true. It's so damn true, and especially when it comes to race. You understand? Every single case I ever had to fight in court about the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, I won every case. Every single case I won in court. And do you know why I won every case? I won every case because the Esau has laws in this country that says, one, that freedom of religion is sacrosanct, meaning it is unmovable in this country. It is constitutionally unmovable, your religion. And freedom of speech sits right next door. Like them two things are supposed to be unmovable. So how in the hell you are not able to decide what religion you are, and you don't have the freedom of speech to criticize those who have done such an evil to you? And that's why. This is why. Like he just brought out, because justice is not right on our side. And if I could, real quick, what burns in my soul in the evil of this place? Here's what burns in my soul in the evil of this place. That the so-called white Jews are able to hide behind anti-Semitism for their crimes. If a section of Jewish people, if a Jewish gang was robbing stores, you could say a gang was robbing stores, but you can't say it was a Jewish gang. If it was an Italian gang, if it was an Asian gang, if it was a black gang, you could say all day it was them. But if you say it's a Jewish gang, you're anti-Semitic. So they cover their crimes against us, by calling us anti-Semitic. And they get away with it every day. This brother bringing it out is so right. Go ahead, please.
If I can, Jenna.
Please.
Listen, they called Kanye West anti-Semitic, right? Kyrie Irving called him anti-Semitic because he posted a movie, right? A movie he didn't make, a movie he didn't direct, a movie he didn't produce. He was anti-Semitic because the movie was also anti-Semitic to Jewish people. Jeff Bezos owns Amazon, and you can get the movie right now on Amazon, running. You can pay for it, get it, watch it all day, show it to your family, and he is not attacked.
He ain't called an anti-Semitic.
You know
and I think he's a so-called Jew. I don't know. He sure look like one. He got that nose and all that. But better stop for you. You two cut me off. I take that back, yo.
Sorry,
block you. Sorry. and if I could, the movie's up 400%. 400% the movie's up.
And ain't no list for Jeff Bezos. Ain't no list for him to apologize. He ain't got to donate no money to the ADL. You understand? He ain't got to jump through all the hoops that Kyrie Irving has made to jump through, because once again, it's all about race.
Exactly.
You understand?
Donald Trump ran on. So I can go ahead.
No, that was just it.
Donald Trump ran on Mexicans being rapists, and he didn't get cut off on Twitter for 5 years later. Then he got cut off Twitter, and they get ready to put him back on. Go ahead, he's back. He's back on Twitter. Probably got all his followers and everything back. Okay, and he ran on a completely racist platform. Don't tell black people not to say anything anti-Semitic if you ain't gonna hold other people to account.
Right.
And that's what's so vile about what is going on with this entire Kyrie Irving, especially Kyrie Irving. Because at least you can say, well, Kanye said he going DEFCON, 3 on Jewish people. That could be a weak argument. Everybody knows he was talking about the economic terrorism that they were carrying out against him. But Kyrie Irving just said he watched a movie and thought the movie was good. They told him he got to pay $500,000 to the Jewish, to some so-called Jews, and take sensitivity training on top of it.
If they needed the money, sir.
Exactly. Like they want to humiliate him.
That's what it's about.
Strip his balls out from under him, take his manhood from under him for doing that. But once again, they got a sad thing coming, because once again, they've been getting away with this crime and using anti-Semitism for so long that it's going to come back to bite them. Like, they might get the whole damn music industry to turn against them and bust up their little cabal. They've been running that gang up there out for years, such that you can't make no money in the music industry without, you could be the most talented musician in the world. If them so-called Jews don't want you up in there, you ain't going nowhere. If Clive Davis and Columbia and them gangsters that went to Harvard to have that study done don't give you the okay, brother, your music ain't going nowhere, if not for the Lord. And which is why the Lord not only is he gonna break up that cabal, he gonna open it up for everybody to turn around and be able to bring out whatever music they want. Like, how you gonna have a whole entire nation listening to one kind of music, and then that nation that's listening to that one kind of music created all the genres of music? You telling me don't no black people like rock and roll no more when we created it?
Right.
Don't no black people like jazz no more when we created it?
Right.
Don't no black people like blues no more when we created it?
Right.
That's ridiculous, because all you putting out is one kind of music. You understand? Go ahead.
If I may, sir, what you bring it out is just so heavy, is that they took down Officer 519's DEFCON 4 video on YouTube, but then all the other, you know what I mean, all the other music that's out there that's promoting rape and killing and all the other monstrosities is still up there.
Of course.
They took this brother, you know what I mean, video down.
So is that anybody video still up?
Kosher Dill's video is still up.
Kosher Dill's video is still up. But meanwhile, the DEFCON 4 was hot.
Yeah.
That was hot.
What's the brother's name again?
Officer 500 knocked us out.
Big shout out to knock us out. Hell of a job. But that's okay, because in a minute, ISUPK.com will be back up, fam. Right. And when ISUPK.com comes back up, we're going to have a whole section of banned videos. And so all the stuff they banning all over the place, we're going to categorize them, man. They're going to be loaded in the banned videos category, and they'll be on our servers. So won't nobody be able to mess with them videos. Them videos will be right there on our servers for you to check out and to see the truth. I'm telling the daggone truth. Salaki, go ahead, y'all.
You got it?
Come. You still want to play more of the videos?
That might be good.
It's up to you.
Can I say one quick thing about this video? Is all right, sir?
Please.
Okay, and this, as he's saying this, right, as Jay Williams says, this wouldn't have happened to Brett Favre. This wouldn't have happened to this white man who did something worse than what they're vilifying Kyrie Irving over. It just keeps striking my brain back to how many times we've been through this. 1,000 times. Let me tell you someone else you can say this about, Muslims. You cannot make a joke about Muhammad. You can't draw a picture of Muhammad. You can't say anything about Muhammad, or else you're not going to get canceled. You're going to get killed. You're going to be shot dead in your office place, which is what's going to happen if you say anything at all about Muslims. You can't misrepresent or underrepresent white people in voting. If white people don't get the person that they voted for, if he does not win the election, they're going to kill the governor of Minnesota.
That's right.
They're going to storm the White House, defecate on Nancy Pelosi's desk, and kill cops. This is so old to me. As I'm hearing them, I'm going, they're going to shoot the factory up.
Burn Biden in efforts.
They're going to burn Biden, try to hang the vice president. Here's what Jay Williams is really trying to say. And listen, we'll do this for the next time this happens, all right? This is what we really want to say. We don't want to say really, okay, your reflex is to say, why don't white people treat other people the same way they treat us? When we do something wrong, why do you treat white people better when they do something wrong? Here's what you have to really ask yourself. But to do this, you have to get free. You have to say to yourself, why don't we treat white people more bad when they do something wrong to us? That's really what you're trying to say. Because white people can do something to us that is terrible, and we forgive them immediately. Immediately. Kramer said nigger on stage. He said, you niggers, get out of my comedy special. You remember him, Juliana?
Yes, I remember that statement.
Jesse Jackson came out and said, really, we're wrong for saying nigger.
Yeah.
Black people are wrong for saying nigger because white people only say nigger because black people say nigger. Charlemagne the God said the same thing. Really, we're wrong for saying nigger. Whenever a white man does something racist and evil, which should make us cancel them. Like we should cancel him. We should hate him. We should be done with him. Christianity makes us forgive them. The reason that Jewish people can cancel someone for anything, for any slight or perceived disrespect, is because they didn't go to black Christian churches.
That's right.
The reason that Muslims, if you disrespect a Muslim, my God, they're gonna do more than cancel you, brother. You cannot say something about Islam. You can't draw Muhammad. You see how people do jokes about religions? You can't joke about Islam. You're getting killed. Ask the people over there at that newspaper. What's that newspaper over there in Charles Leblanc or somewhere in France?
The Guardian also in England.
The Guardian in England. They went there and drew a picture of Muhammad, put it in the newspaper. They're gone. They no longer breathe anymore. Because everyone else on the planet, when you offend them in any way at all, they go to extreme measures.
We didn't.
Please, sir.
I don't want to jump on.
I'm just okay because here's the complaint. Why don't you hate Brett Favre?
Right.
Why don't you hate Mel Gibson? Why don't you hate this person? Why don't you hate somebody? Like instead, why don't we just cancel somebody?
Yeah.
Why don't we just? But I know why. Because God forgives everything and turn the other cheek. And we go to black church. And so because we go to black church, we're wondering why Jewish people won't treat their enemies the way we treat ours. They didn't go to black church. We're wondering why white people will storm the Capitol and will riot in the streets if their candidate doesn't get elected. They didn't go to black church. We went to black church. And so it'll always make your brain mess up like, damn, why can't we get forgiveness the way that they get forgiveness? Because you forgive everybody and they didn't go to your church. Why don't we cancel someone? Why don't we just pick somebody, brother, who, why don't we cancel Eminem? I don't see how y'all let Eminem rap. Like, speaking of the music business, how did black people, when you had an industry where only poor people from the ghetto were rapping, you weren't making much money, but damn, it was better than selling drugs. And then some white man, you let him come in there, you make songs with him, you promote him, you celebrate him. Why didn't you cancel Eminem? Why didn't you say no black producer better produce a song for Eminem? No black radio station, you better not play Eminem. Nobody's allowed to open for him on stage. Nobody's allowed to be with Eminem. Why didn't you just cancel him? I know why. Because you went to a black Christian church. So
that's Christianizing that woman. I remember the interview after all them black people got murdered by that old young boy playing his video game in real life, killing black people in the supermarket. They interviewed the black woman and said, "So do you forgive them?" Like that's
every time.
Black people
Every time.
And she said, "Well, yeah." He said, "How?" They haven't had the funeral. He said, "How?" He said, "Well, I'm Christian, so I gotta forgive them. I have no choice in it." I see.
Why don't you go to Jewish people and say, "Well, don't you forgive Kyrie Irving?
Right.
Don't you forgive Kanye West? Don't you forgive them? Why don't you? The only people that even get asked that question is black people. And then, of course, when Brett Favre steals money, we're looking for him to get hatred when he's not going to get hatred because the people he hurt are taught to forgive everything. You don't need white people to be more mean to Brett Favre. Right. Black people, you got to start being more mean. You're going to have to turn your mean thing on. You're going to have to cancel Brett Favre, cancel Eminem. And when I say cancel him, I mean black people are not allowed to go see him. You don't have to kill him. You don't have to go storm the Capitol the way white people would do. Don't do what a Muslim would do. Don't do what a white man would do. He'd go and kill everybody. Don't do that. But you cannot talk to someone who would open for Eminem, who would produce his songs, who would in any way help him make money. Then you have your piece of the music business that you would control, but you'd have to stop forgiving people. Right. You don't need to make people hate Brett Favre, but you would have to stop forgiving people, or else you can't be surprised when they don't forgive people. Right. They didn't go to your church. You died.
If I may, sir, what you bring up is so heavy. And it translates to this. I got another saga on Deion Sanders and this NCAA. If I may, sir.
Come on.
He's battling the NCAA right now to get a bowl game for an HBCU. And what you're saying, General Muhammad, is so heavy because the story says Deion Sanders has a question. Why not have an HBCU in a bowl game? If we cancel the NCAA and have more coaches like Deion Sanders, we wouldn't have to ask and beg the NCAA to play in a bowl game, to get college game day to come and to get the certain type of funding. That'll put the NCAA out in general, sir.
And do you know how much money them college boys would make if they just amped it up just a little bit? If they put a little D on it, that need to be a slogan. Put a little D on in you. You know, man, it need to be a meme. Put a little D on in you where you stand up a little bit against this. You know how much them ball players would be getting, man? They would be. And listen, I like to see us come up. I like to be amazing when these come together, brother. And these tribes come together, man. It is something to see when they come together. You understand? And so a little of that in our coffee, and brother, you would see something. Well, I wanted to add to what General Muhammad was saying, man, which was so on point. When Dylan Ruth went into that church and raped and killed those 9 black people in that church, they forgave Dylan Ruth at the arraignment. At the arraignment, they was forgiving him. He had just killed 9 of their family members. You don't understand the Bible. Christ did not tell you to turn the other cheek to everybody. That turn the other cheek was to your brother. Go learn the Bible and stop listening to gangsters in suits in your church, man. Which is, once again, learn a real lesson. That God he's not answering the church. You should see it. Like God, the Lord right now in black people's lives, across the world, the Lord is showing you that you are the 12 lost tribes of the children of Israel, and he's having celebrities help do it. He's showing it to you. Stop listening to some bootleg cat in the church. They showed you their colors in the pandemic. Yeah. Turned their back, shut down, walked away, had no answers for nobody. Didn't even know where to go in the scriptures on the pandemic. The prophets did, though. They knew exactly where to go. And when that bastard did that, they forgave him on the spot. And let me tell you something, if I could, just to add just a little bit more. When you do that to somebody that harms you, you lower the penalty. There's a reason the white man got the death penalty. There's a reason he got prison sentences. It's called a deterrent. That's what it's called. You go out and rob a store and spend 3 years in jail, trust me, you're going to not want to rob a store too much more. You understand? You go kill somebody and spend 25 years of your life in a cage like an animal. You are not going to be too quick to kill somebody when you get out, if you still have your mind after 25 years in a cage. You're not going to be quick to do that. But here's what we do under the Christian church, which Christ never prescribed us to do. We turn the other cheek to the people that's slaughtering us. That's what we do. We turn the cheek to the people that's slaughtering us instead of turning the cheek to our own brothers. Him we'll kill. A Negro step on your toe, you're going to kill him. He even look at you wrong, you're going to kill him. You're going to shoot him in the club for just bumping into your shoulder. You're going to kill him in the club for bumping into, he cut you off in the road. You already guns out blazing, bah, 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 bah. You shooting up the whole block. He disrespect you in a conversation, you killing him. You are exactly in the mindset that the Lord said for us to get you out, where you hate your brothers and love your enemies and forgive them like they are holy angels and turn the other cheek to them. You gonna say something, Joe? Please.
Meanwhile, Jewish people who never attended the Christian church, like Muhammad said, when the Kanye offended them, you understand, not only did he attack him, but he said Adidas ain't going to even do nothing. And Jewish people attacked Adidas, flooded them, an outcry, flood of outcries to Adidas, to where Adidas had to buckle. That's how you defend your people.
Yes.
And your nation and your reputation.
Listen, if I could add a little bit more. Listen, we did not defend Run DMC when Adidas would not give them a contract, even though they made Adidas famous. They made a Nazi sneaker company famous by making a song about them that sold millions and millions of copies that's still played on rotation in certain countries to this day. We turned around and by the way, the so-called Jew made millions on that, and Run DMC didn't get a whole lot of that. But back to the point, they did that out, and we made their company famous. And when they went to Adidas and said, "Look, man, why don't you give us an endorsement? We making millions for you." Adidas said, "Hell no." What did we do? We went out and bought more Adidas. We didn't pay it no mind, like you bring it out. You know what? I could give you another one last heinous one. The heinous one was when the little white girl shot Botham John in his apartment. Listen, white people was mad. And let me tell you something. You can't be mad at white people after a police officer goes into your apartment, which Esau don't play that. Esau believed in that king's castle. He don't like that. White people was angry that cop went in his apartment and shot that brother dead. But when his own blood brother went and hugged the murderer of his brother, white people said, they walked away like, why should we defend him?
You can't help these
right, you can't do nothing. They won't defend themselves with nothing. They threw their hands up. And if I could, sorry, I keep going on.
Go ahead.
But let me bring one more. Like I brought out earlier, this week, I forgot which, I got to find out which one it was. I got it in my story. Let me bring it up. A British rock group did a huge concert in England and wore T-shirts with Kanye West's picture on the T-shirts. The crowd went wild. And you know why they put that on his T-shirt? Because Kanye West is standing on what he said. He ain't folding up under there. You don't hear no more about it with Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon became a good, I hate to say it, they broke him. Now his head is down. He's quiet. He's all teeth now. All teeth, trying to have babies, I guess, make his legacy go. But he's done spiritually. But Kanye West did not lay down his sword on what he knew was right. And because of it, guess what? Even white people are coming to his defense. White people, David Chappelle made a joke about it. Others making jokes about it. Others bringing it out. Why? Because he didn't fold. But you Christians have taught us to slaughter ourselves. And you Muslims too. A lot of you Muslims is Christians too, man. Meaning you bend to the will of the demon of the empire.
Right.
You don't stand on nothing that you believe in. When they was coming down after 9/11, you couldn't find a turban on a Muslim's head. I went in the chicken joints. They all had square haircuts and baseball caps on. I thought they brought in another tribe or something. I was like, these must be South America. Then I looked close. Oh, no, this is the same Arabs. You cut that hair off and had baseball caps on. That whole time. You understand? And black people, you become Muslims, and then you don't defend black people. You don't even go back and defend black people. But you will defend a Muslim. You will defend somebody following the religion of the Arabs, which is why we should never follow any. If there's any religion that comes from another people, we should never touch it.
Right.
Ever. It's such a disrespect. It's so saying that everybody else can have a God, but you black people, you can't have a God. There ain't no black God. I'm waiting for somebody to make my t-shirt the nigga God. I'm waiting on it. He got the t-shirt. I want me two of them. Yesterday. It say the nigga God on it. Oh my God. Well, somebody send me two of them t-shirts, man. I got the money ready. Because that's the God we should serve. So, I'm off of it.
I'll say one quick thing, please, good, sir. Please. And okay, people in the world, this might be difficult for you to understand because you see life from a perspective of get white people to hire us, get white people to give us jobs, get white people to forgive us. But let me try to explain to black people what Jewish people are feeling. So I'm going to just, if I could, sir, make you understand why Jewish people do what they do. Jewish people, right? Okay, since the time of the Cossacks back in Russia, of course, about World War I, World War II. Jewish people have went through many times where they're ostracized by the government of the country they're living in. It happened in Russia, it happened in Poland, and of course, famously, it happened in Germany. And it always starts with criticism about how much money they have. So it starts with just people saying, hey, you have a lot of money. You people own everything. Hey, we don't like that you own everything. We're poor, you rich. And then it grows and grows and grows into a fervor that leads them into being killed by the government of the country they live in. It happened in Russia, it happened in Poland, and of course, it happened in the so-called Jewish Holocaust over there in Germany. So now, because of their history of being killed, because people think they have so much money, you can't even mention them owning things or having money. Because in their mind, this is going to lead to Adolf Hitler again. This is going to happen again. So now, the minute that anyone says Jewish people can
One, two, 1, 2. Give me a 3 out there, y'all. If you can hear us, give me a 3. Still no sound.
We 2 out now, so it's a couple minutes delay.
Oh yeah, I see the 3. The 3's is back. Go ahead.
It looks like if I could. Don't be angry because Jewish people don't forgive Kyrie Irving. They don't have to. They don't have to forgive him. They don't have to forgive Kanye West. But you don't have to forgive white people either. You don't have to forgive them. If you want to have a spiritual awakening, go to our white fellow citizens and our Jewish fellow citizens and just ask them, do you know about the Kyrie Irving situation? Was it anti-Semitic? Yes. Do you forgive him? Do you know about Kanye West? Was it anti-Semitic? Yes. Do you forgive him? And see how white people are not ashamed to say, no, we don't forgive him because of the Holocaust, because of Germany, because of our painful past, because of what happened to us. We can never forget that. And so we can't allow someone to even insult us today. Go to Jewish and white people and ask them, do you forgive Kanye West? They're all going to say no. Every time a white man kills someone that's black, some reporter will ask us, do we forgive them? And we will always say yes. If you want to be free, if you want to be a real Jew, stop forgiving white people. White people, you want to fire whoever you want to fire because you believe they insulted you. That's your right. but I also can hate the police that murder my people. I also can hate the government that enslaved my people. I don't have to forgive either. And as long as I don't have to forgive, then I'll let you do whatever the hell you want. Then we're both free. Then we're two men who are free. So like you said,
if I could, just one thing to add to what you said, which is so important. The reason why those white Jews get kicked out of all of those countries, including Germany at the time, is because those white Jews are using the tools that were given to you, black people, Latino people, and Native Indian people, as a nation. You know why they become wealthy in these countries? For exactly what they're doing in Hollywood. They network among themselves. They grill their economy among themselves. They do not reveal any of their secrets to other nations. They do not allow their people to be demoralized by another nation like they do to us, and they stand up and raise hell every time one of their people are being criticized. They have a full strategy. Where did that strategy come from? Sadly to say, they got that strategy from black men in the Bible. That's where that strategy comes from. And the sad part is, you don't use that strategy because you're brainwashed under the American idea of we all supposed to love each other. They ain't running around saying they should love each other. Brother, you should see their yeshivas. I keep bringing it up because there's one up the block from me. And brother, this thing here, you don't even see the students coming in and out of this yeshiva. They students come in on buses, come out of buses, is fully gated. Nobody else in there being educated but their students and their kids. And then, brother, if you see the field trips their kids are going to, their kids are going to the symphony, to the opera, to the art museums. That's what they little kids go to from young ages. They're learning the arts and learning the sciences and going to private yeshivas, and they can go to school without ever having to sit next to you in a class from kindergarten until they graduate with a PhD in Jewish yeshivas, Jewish schools. They don't never have to interact with you at all until you're a client, a patient, or a tenant, or whatever it is that they rule over you with. They care for their people. And they make it, and once again, what did the Lord tell us to do? When thou art among those, give it to me, when thou art among them nations, right? Don't mix with them. The Lord said not to do that, and guess what? White Jewish people are doing it. Right. All them laws that you churches said are done away with in Leviticus. All them laws, they studying them laws from kindergarten. Black people's laws. And they studying them laws, and because they do, big shout out to General Katham Gabar. He gave us Deuteronomy 4 and 6. That's the one you was holding. Bob, please read that for me, man. You understand? Read that one, man, because they using your laws out. And listen, and they using your laws, and it's foolproof in every nation they go into. Yeah. Whether it be America, or even in Arab countries. They in Arab countries are controlling whole areas of Arab countries. Go to Syria. In Syria, they got an entire Jewish community in the middle of Syria, a completely Arab country. They got an entire Jewish community with security, schools. They got yeshivas over there with an economic market, housing, everything. And guess who's in there? Nothing but their people. And if them Arabs run up in there, all that Islam, run up in there, brother, it starts a full-out war. And guess what? When the United States was fighting against Syria under Obama, they joined the Syrian president. They didn't even side with Obama. They sided with the Jewish president of Syria because they knew he had the better chance to win. And kept their community. Go to Lebanon. They got a full Jewish community in Lebanon. White Jews using your laws and surviving and thriving and prospering in Arab countries, in African countries, in European countries, in Asian countries, in Central and South America. You can go right now in the Caribbean. On them little islands, they got whole Jewish communities out that don't mix with you at all. They own all the businesses. They got businesses outside the country. They control all the economics. The same program comes right out the scriptures. Read it for them. You was gonna say something you died before?
I was gonna say, sir, but you bring out this so heavy. I was on TikTok and I could not find the video, sir, that it was in Palestine. And in Palestine, it was in this Muslim mosque. And there was a so-called Jew that went in there to pray. You know, Israel and Palestine, you know, the so-called Jew in Palestine, they at war right now.
Right.
They did not bother this so-called Jew, this Amalekite, in there praying. They said, well, you know, even in the midst of all the war, he is allowed to come and pray. But they can't come and do that over there.
You can't go up in there in that synagogue talking about you here to pray. You here to pray to Allah in the synagogue. No, you ain't doing that. Listen, I've been over there, like I said, a couple of times. Be an Arab and try to get near that Western Wall. That wall where they be wailing at, man, you can't come. If you're an Arab, you can't come nowhere near that wall. You come down off that hill, man, they'll blast you and ask you later why you came down off of that. We had to get a clearance to come down just to observe the damn thing. We had to get clearance. They had to look at us and see if we was Arab. We was like, man, look, man, we here to see, you know, the base of this temple to see if it is as it said, because at the time we was checking to see whether or not it was from the 2nd century like we believed it was. But you get my point. You can't ever do that in their assumption. And guess what? That's exactly, and that shows you that the philosophy of this empire is exactly the opposite of the Lord's. And then they come into a country, America, that's supposed to be a melting pot, supposed to be for all nations, supposed to be for all of that. And guess what they do? Totally separate themselves.
Right.
In the very country that's supposed to be about nothing but integration, they still don't integrate. They'll live right next door to you. They will live right next door to you, and they will totally ignore you as long as you ignore them. They will practice their Jewish rights, eat their Jewish food, go to their Jewish religions, go to their yeshivas, and they will never say a single word. They be living right next to you in a row house. And they won't say a word. You go down there to Brooklyn. Go to Brooklyn. And go down there in them so-called Jewish neighborhoods. They act like you're not even there. They act like you a ghost walking down the street. They be walking down the street. You be coming this way. They won't even look over at you. They're like you ain't even exist in there. I remember, like I said, back in the day, you walked in a store, you had to put the money on the counter because they didn't want to touch your hand back then. We used to buy our leather and all that from them way back in the day in the 80s. They had the little Jewish stores with all the leather piled up there. Of course, they had the best deals. You understand? Because, of course, they work in a network, getting it from overseas, only from their own. So by the time it gets to you, it's 30% less than if you had to go to the Italians or somebody else. You know what I mean? Which is also how they took over the textile industry. You go down to 34th Street, 38th Street. They run the textile industry, man. You can't operate down there unless you get their okay. Go down there and try to get something made. Go try to put out a product. You got to get their permission to put that product out. Or you be working in a factory and they be just robbing everything that you do. And that's why Kanye and them was mad. Because they tried, Jay-Z and all of them was mad. Because they want to put products out all over the world. You can't put it out unless they okay it. Why? Because they working with your scriptures, which is the worst part, the burning part. Salakia, read that out.
Oh God, this is the book of Deuteronomy, 4, verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding.
Go up above it if you don't mind, now, really quick.
Okay.
The verse above it. Tell them where you at.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, 4, verse 5.
Well, let me tell you something. Let me just say this. I'm sorry, y'all. But let me just say this. This scripture should make you love the Most High. This scripture he about to read should make you love the Most High above anything. Go.
Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments.
See what he said? Go ahead. Moses talking for the Lord. Go ahead.
Even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it.
See that? They living by this. Your laws, your
We good now, sir. Go ahead.
So what? Do you know that these laws and these scriptures that everybody has now was at one time nobody knew these? No other nation knew these laws. These were
that was just among our people, that we only taught our children. It wasn't until they destroyed the temple and stole the records and then buried them, and then the archaeologists came and dug them up in the 16th and 15th century, did we really get these records back. These were our records, man, our Constitution. Go ahead, I don't want to run on.
Come on. Verse 6, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom.
Keep these laws he gave us, for this is your wisdom. Go ahead.
And your understanding in the sight of the nations.
So that all the nations will see you wise. And listen, everybody fears that so-called Jew and sees that he's wise on the other nations. Am I lying? That he knows how to get paid off of the other nations, man. You understand? He calls us the Goyim, which is another name for heathen. Where did he get that from? The scriptures. The scriptures. Like what they're doing is what the Lord taught you, but the Lord would have had you do it justly. Many of them do it unjustly. But we would be flourishing in this earth as a people. All our talent and ability, we'd be exploding on this earth. What nation, find me a nation you can fly to that has the talent and ability and the spirituality and the liveliness that we have. Find them for me. Tell me where to fly to. Get me a plane ticket. I'll show you a nation that's copying us. Christ put it best, our King. Ye are the salt of the earth. We are. And brother, they've been getting over on us for the longest. And we should be taking a lesson from this. Instead of we're doing the absolute opposite of what the Lord said to do. And guess what? We having the total opposite effect than they do. You understand? We don't have no commerce among us except a barbershop, beauty salon. That's it. And even the products in the beauty salon and barbershop come from the Koreans. Am I lying? So we don't even have an industry among us that makes us us. Let me tell you something, if I could. Last point, I'm going to get up off it. Something that I observed years ago in the 90s, okay? When a lot of West Benjamites came up to the United States, they used to do this. Benjamites used to come up here, and they used to open up a lot of Benjamite restaurants. Levites did so also. And it was usual practice. People like Caribbean food and all. But I had noticed something out when the riots broke out underneath David Dinkins in New York City. When them riots broke out, you know what I had noticed? I noticed that those restaurant owners were the main ones protesting. The restaurant owners was giving Esau hell. And it dawned on me. They was giving Esau hell because they didn't have to rely on Esau for their money. Black people was buying their food. West Indian people was buying their food. Haitian people were buying their food. So they didn't care. They saw the injustice that the white man had, and they ran out in the street and was raising hell. And then I looked closer and I saw the brothers who was free. Vendors like myself and others who didn't have slaveries where they had to rely on Esau for their money. They was out there. And I said, damn, it dawned on me. I'm saying, damn. Now I see cats that are independent, they ain't afraid to speak up for what's wrong because they don't have to rely on the slave master to feed them.
Right.
And brother, and it showed me a hell of a lesson about us as a people. Right. Like we should have been, that's what they do. Like they do that. Like they can shut you, like Muhammad brought out a second ago, they can shut you to hell. I'm getting up off of y'all. They can shut you the hell down because they own Columbia. They own all these different record labels. So they can come in, it's their business. They're not relying on the government or nobody else for their money. So they can come and shut you the hell down. When you're a free man, brother, you can stand up. And let me tell you something. The Israelite school of UPK, I got jobs, man. I got jobs. I should make a song. I got jobs, man. It should be a song about it. I got jobs. And understand, and independently of this evil place. And brother, the more we as men become independent of this place, the greater a job we're going to do for our own, because we're not going to be afraid to talk.
Yeah.
You in the church, you looking for a higher position in that corporation, so you scared to talk.
Right.
We ain't scared to talk. Well, nobody, you don't pay my salary, these niggas right here. This is where I eat because of these niggas. No, I'm going to say whatever the hell I want to say. And listen, and let me tell you something. And all of you out there, new brothers and sisters that support this truth, I'm telling you straight up, that's how I eat. If you see me out having a meal, y'all paid for it, and guess what? I work for you. And so I'm going to give Esau and the other nations every dime of your money. Your money, you getting your money paid. Because I've been raised in hell for 40 years. You understand? You get your money paid. You understand? The Fed bugging my car, my house, knocking on my door, questioning me about stuff, asking me if I'm a terrorist and all that. Oh, you getting your paperwork. Trust me. I'm out the woods with I ain't gonna tell you. I ain't gonna tell you. Sure. Y'all getting your money's worth out of this work. And brother, and that's how it should be. How you gonna have black leaders who have to rely on Esau to get to survive? And they expect them to lead you. They're going to sell you down the river to Esau. To sell you like a $2 trinket for Esau because they really work for him. And that's why black politicians is a waste of time. They don't work for us, they work for them. You don't pay them. You just vote them in office. The corporations pay them and they rob you with it. So like, I'm all for him.
Sir. And all that explains why America is a Christian society and why they push Christianity. Because that keeps you away from all this. Something that the Jewish people realized and understood, that these laws keep us tight. I know they don't belong to us, but we got them and it keeps us tight, keeps us in control, keeps us rich. It was supposed to do the same thing for us. Yeah. That's why the Lord gave it to us. The general just read it in Deuteronomy, man. But being Christian, living in a Christian society, and I don't care what you call yourself, what religion you think you in, you live in this Christian society, you living like Christians, man, which divides us. And we can't never unite. That's why black people, all my life, black people ain't gonna never unite. We can't come together. Niggas can't come together. Why? Because you're Christian. Yeah. That's why. And you got nowhere. Look, that's what Captain Tazariak was trying to explain to all them clubhouse people in the world, WAC 100, and all the rest of you. He was trying to explain to you that we need this. This is the only way we're going to get up, man, and get back in our proper spots, man. But instead, this society that we live in, we want to love them and gain their love and get their love. Hell, when the Lord said, don't seek their peace, which is their love, their admiration, everything. Don't seek their peace. And he said, don't do it so that you can stay strong, man. So that you can be strong. That's something heavy. Like the Lord said, don't look for their love. Don't look for their togetherness. Don't look for being joyous with them so that you can be strong. But the world, man, our people in this world in America today, that's all we do is seek their love and their peace and their approval, man. And it keeps you weak and not united, man. You can't unite. You won't never gather together. You won't never come together or do nothing together. We don't trust each other. Right. Why? Because we missed all this. We missed these laws. How can I trust my brother if we ain't living by the same code? You understand? How are we gonna start a business together if we ain't living according to the same principles, man? Right. You understand? I.S.U.P.K is the only way to live. The only way.
But you mentioned how to Muhammad and something out so heavy. Like they know, like one it falls back in the Christian church. This blood is on their hands by the evil they doing. But they know what they're doing. Because they know our leaders don't have our back. And they know that the Christian church, the politicians, them leaders, there's a scripture that bring it out. If y'all can find it where it says that, I'm going to paraphrase it, where it say, they do no wrong because the leaders don't have our back. They know what they're doing. They understand that. What they did, like the so-called Jew is such a predator. What he did was how committed to how to put it out to.
Good to see you.
Y'all was about to all right, warriors. What they did was they took our laws, right, and used our laws and used us in using our laws. Yeah. You understand, sir? Like the so-called Jew he owned a basketball team, he owned a football team, he owned the hip hop music and all that, getting paid off of who's talent, who in the sports right now, who doing basketball, who's doing football, who out there making all the hip hop music, all kind of genres, hip hop, jazz, rock, R&B, who's doing it? Us. Like he using what the Lord gave us and using us in it to get paid off of it. And our leaders, they see it, but they too weak to do anything about it. You know what I mean? They too weak to do anything about it or say anything about it. And if a man says something about it, they want to have his back.
Can I say anything else?
Yes, sir.
What General House is saying is absolutely true, and let me show you that it's true if you need more proof. What you see when white Jewish people cancel Kanye West and cancel Kyrie Irving, now, sir, they're about to cancel Dave Chappelle. They cancel him as well.
They giving him hell, huh?
They giving him hell. And of course, you dying?
We have a precept in Ohio.
Please, House.
This is the book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 16 and verse 30. Verse 21, Verse 21. He suffered no man to do them wrong. Yea, he reproved kings for their sakes.
That's not the one. That's a good one. It's a different one. But they said they do no wrong because our leaders are not with us. I want to see the Isaiah or Jeremiah.
Can I give you one, Hans?
Yes, sir.
Love.
Yes, sir.
Hosea 2 and 5. Hans gonna break it down for you. 2 and 5. 2 and 5, Hans, and jump to 2 and 7.
Come on.
Like, Hans gonna bring something out to y'all out that, boy, if we could learn this lesson in this scripture right here, we could learn a lot. Go ahead, Hans. Go ahead.
This is the book of Hosea, 2 and verse 5. For their mother had played the harlot.
They what?
For their mother had played the harlot.
You know who the mother is your lovers. I mean, your leaders.
That's right.
Your leaders is the mother. Right. And they had played the harlot the whole. They had to hold themselves out with every nation out here. Which is why these other nations exploit us the way they do. And not just in what you see out here in social media and the record industry, sports. Even in your neighborhood, your homes, your houses. Who buying other houses?
That's right.
You see them cats out with them little yarmulkes on their head, they buy them all real estate. From right in the hood together, buy them your real estate, reducifying your land, and charging you a premium while they redo it. Go ahead. And your leaders, they know it. They let them in. So they play the whores, man. A harlot is a whore. Go ahead.
She that conceived them have done shameful.
They doing shameful, man. They are your leaders. They are. No, I'm gonna say the word born, but they are the ones who are birthing what you have right now. The whole reason that Kanye, Kyrie, and everybody catching this backlash right now is because of your leaders. They birthed this whole movement to be able so you can't see nothing about nobody. When they know that they are being exploited by these people, they understand, they know it. But their pockets get lied to.
Yeah, you're right.
Them mothers are lining them pockets. They don't say nothing.
That's the shameful part that he's talking about. How shameful that. Go ahead, Salah.
Yes, sir. Keep on going, brother.
Oh, God. For she said, I will go after my lovers.
That's your leaders. That's them right there. Right now, in the Senate in Georgia, you got Herschel Walker running against Ralph Warnock. The cat Warnock is supposed to be a Baptist preacher and about the Bible, but he is for abortion. He's pro-abortion. You understand me? It says that he don't see nothing wrong with it in his Christian faith. When God said abortion is wrong, and killing babies is evil or wrong, we use scriptures all day. They for their lovers. And why is he saying that? Because he's backed by the LGBTQ community. They are backing this whole movement. This whole one for all, they backing. There you go. Go to verse 7, like how Commander GEN.YAHANNA step up himself.
Okay. Verse 7. And she shall follow after her lovers.
Mm-hmm. And she shall what?
And she shall follow after her lovers.
Go ahead.
But she shall not overtake them.
Listen, sir.
Please.
Sir, she gonna follow after her lovers, right? You understand? She gonna follow after them. And what you see right now, what's going on? They follow, but you're not gonna be able to take it. They gonna still be over top of you. Yeah. Enforcing what they want on you and your people. And you're not gonna be able to say anything about it, and you're not gonna be able to stop it.
Right. That the whole idea of we're gonna create a melting pot. We're gonna all be equal. We're gonna all be in the same level. That's a damn lie, according to the Lord. General Haas reading it right now. You ain't never gonna overtake them. You ain't never gonna overtake them means you chase somebody down and you catch up to them. That's what it means to overtake them. Meaning you caught up to them. And so now you either neck and neck or you passing them. You ain't never gonna pass them. You ain't never gonna go ahead, General.
If I could put it plainly, you ain't never gonna be like the white man.
Yeah.
You ain't never gonna be no true American. No matter how hard you try. It's set up that way.
Yep. Go ahead, huh?
Sir, but if I could, sir, when you went on the streets and you was teaching, we was in D.C. and you brought out about I think it was during the I don't know, Obama was winning. I forgot when you went out there, but they had the big old rally and all the Edomites was out there, and
it might have been the Glenn Beck rally.
Might have been the Glenn Beck rally. It might have been the Glenn Beck rally. And when that Edomite said he agreed with everything you said, that he knew how whenever black people get kind of high, they set the bar even higher. They set it even higher so you don't ever attain anywhere close to where they're at.
And they said that's right. And can I go ahead?
So and they say that, huh? White people tell you that. And they also call it moving the goalposts. That's what they call it.
No, you're right. Because once again, and if I could, once again, you black leaders that say that what we talk about is, what is it? Self victim. They got a term for it called victim sympathy or victimized, self-victimizing. It's like they got a term. I forget the term. Anybody know the term out there? Y'all let me know. But it's a term to say that you got a slave mentality, that you got a victim mentality. When white people are always claiming to be the victim, and you don't ever get justice for your crimes. Like you would not be able to claim to be a victim if you got any justice for the crimes that's committed against you by whole races against you. And since you can't, you are a victim. And let me tell you something else. This is the dumbest thing in the world. Could you imagine every woman that got raped that said, I'm not going to talk about me being raped because I don't want to be a victim? Does that make any damn sense? To stop being a victim, she got to speak out so the rapist gets arrested. That's what she got to speak out against. But you black leaders are so damn dumb. You dumb like that wall. You dumb and stupid. So you, in your mind, black people that talk about the things that's being done to them, the crimes committed against us, you got a victim mentality, is what you said. When you got a stupid dummy mentality. Joe Biden flew to China today to talk about the war in Ukraine and what is going on. He mad about what's happening and the support China is giving them. You ain't saying he got a victim mentality. You ain't never saying that. And listen, don't let Donald Trump get a raid on Mar-a-Lago. Oh my God. Yeah. He's saying the FBI is wrong. This one is wrong. Talk about a victim mentality. Right, victimhood mentality. Big shout out to Shell. Victimization, you sharp or not. Big shout out. Victimization, what? Victimization, right. You like that's like a mentality. And you don't hear them dumb, stupid Christian terms nowhere else. Though no other nation say, well, we can't have a victim mentality, so we ain't gonna say nothing about what is happening to us. Let me tell you something you don't understand psychologically. Speaking out on the things that happen to you is what empowers you to fight them.
That's right, sir.
Like that's what every child molester wants. Every rapist and every child molester wants you to go home and never tell. They don't want you to ever bring it out. You think a burglary suspect wants you to call the cops? He's hoping that you shut the door and say, I ain't gonna say nothing now because I ain't gonna have a victim mentality. I'm going back out to Walmart to replace everything he stole. He wants you to do that so he can come rob you again later. But if the neighbors know and the cops know and the nosy old lady down the hall knows, then he got a harder time to rob you. And somebody might tell you something that lets you stop him from robbing you.
Right, that's right.
How you gonna stop people from having a victim mentality when they are victims? They've been victims for 400 years. We should speak out and bring all the evil out that they do against us, man. A lot of it.
When you said that just now, General, you know how the rapists always trying to hush, you know,
yes.
They raping. It felt like, and I know he was in the spirit talking about that so-called Jew and what he done to us.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like,
I'm mad as hell. My head ready to pop up. I've been there in self-therapy for the last 2 weeks. Just trying to have my head right. Go ahead, General.
That was it. Like, he didn't rape the guts out of us.
Yes.
You understand? And hushing you. Don't you say it. Don't you tell nobody.
Yes.
If you tell somebody, they're going to look at you like you did something wrong if you tell somebody. It's just be quiet.
Yes, you're right. Listen, I cannot watch none of them old movies or even the new ones about the musicians who became dope addicts and lost it. I can never watch Lady Sings the Blues. I'll never watch it. I'll never watch it. I'll never watch it because I cannot watch them be victimized like that. I'll never watch. They had a story. I watched the one about Richard Pryor's life. Oh my God. Now, Richard Pryor, everybody loved Richard Pryor. Yeah. I watched that one about, what's it called? It was his life story, JoJo Dancing. Brother, I watched about 15 minutes of that movie. I shut the damn thing off. I had to go read a review about it just to know what the movie was about because it was nothing but hell and victimization, molestation, robbery of all his benefits, abuse, thrown out in the streets after performances without being paid. All of that. I can't even watch that, man, because it demotivates me, man. I got to watch winners. I got to watch winners. And these 12 tribes, boy, oh boy, through the grace and mercy of the Lord, they keep on winning and going to win the kingdom of heaven. You understand? So I can't, so what? But y'all watch that victimization and say, see, we should never talk about it. No, we got to talk about it. One day I'll have the gumption to go and watch them join. But right now, I cannot watch it because it horrifies me to see them being abused the way they are. And a ton of the movies is like that. A ton of the movies are for you to be demoralized. And in that demoralization, you accept no justice. That's the point. Y'all so backwards in the church. These old sad-ass black movies, they so that you lose the spirit to stand up and fight. You watch them all, every last one of them, all of them, 5 Heartbeats, which I love the movie. But them movies, man, they all end in sadness, tragedy. They broke. What's the one Jamie Foxx played in with Ray Charles? You know what I mean? All just hell. Why? Because some Jewish man robbed in hell. Even the one with the rapper that I.S.U.P.K was with before he broke off. Easy. Even that one. Sad horror stories of how this man and others have robbed us in so many ways. What's the one with the sister with Diane Ross? Diane Carroll played it. Old school joint. She played with James Earl Jones, where she had the apartment. That was another horror story. And these are horror stories. That's what really is what they should be called. The one where she was living in the tenement, had the kids, you know, had to hide the iron and stuff. It was famous. That was the one my uncle was in with the 3 brothers, where he got Cooley High. All of them damn movies. Every last one of them Esau made was a sad tragedy. That's one thing I give to Bill Cosby. He tried in his best way to have a more upscale, positive view of black people, because they was feeding us nothing but sorrow and tragedy and telling us to accept it and demoralizing us in all those movies, never showing us as the hero. And that's also why, what's his name? Last call. I know we're running out of time. What's his name? The Peebles man. Mario Van Peebles. I think Mario is the son, though, right?
I think so.
The father.
The father.
I forget the father's name, but he was the Peebles too. That's why his movies were so wonderful. His movies were so wonderful because his movies had you standing up to the people that oppressed you. Like all the white movies. They ain't get all them Rambo movies and all them Terminator. Those is movies about white people succeeding against the enemy.
Top Gun again.
Top Gun. Oh my God.
Again, 25 years later.
25 years, brought it back. It was so good to him. They brought it back. He's so old and full of geritol and steroids. They still put him in the cockpit again. They did the instructors this time in them movies. Why? Because them movies motivate their people. But the ones they make for you is to shame you, to make you, lady sings the blues. You know what I mean? To shame you and humiliate you. That is victimization. Not standing up and saying this is wrong and we need to change this. That's not victimization. And it's why you Christians in the church have helped destroy that. So I ran on.
There's another movie that came out this week, sir, if I could.
Come on.
Black Panther. That came out this week. This is going to be all spoilers, everybody. I'm not telling you now.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
If you want to know about the movie, if you want to go see the movie for yourself, you better hit the mute button. So
I believe Officer Yediah has the story.
Come on.
I'm sorry, please.
Black Panther sequel scores second biggest debut of 2022.
Go ahead.
The box office roared back to life with the long-awaited release of Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Let me tell you something about that movie. Saved it saved the entire movie industry because they was losing money hand over fist to Netflix and everybody else. They brought it back. They spent $250 million for that movie. Big shout out to SHALAM. SHALAM gave us the name. It was Melvin Van Peebles. Melvin Van Peebles was a goddamn big shout out to Melvin Van Peebles. Melvin Van Peebles, okay, was a pioneer in some of the best and positive films you could have thought of in the 70s. Mario, give me a call, brother. We got to get this act together, man. Mario, come on, man. You got to keep your pop legacy up, man. That's part of your portion in this kingdom, okay? So come on, give us a call, man. Let's make a movie or something. But anyway, Wakanda Forever. First of all, okay, I can't hardly review it because I'm so mad. This movie and I knew it was gonna be this way. I only did it for my niece. My niece is a real movie buff. She like to dissect movies into the industry. I promised her I would go with her. And kicking and screaming and fighting tooth and nails. God. What's the name of it? Claudine. That's the one. Yes. I decided to go with her to the movies and watch Wakanda Forever. And brother, we are doomed if not for Christ. So listen, my faith I got shook. I sat in the chair. I was shook that we was over because it was so evil. First of all, let's get one thing straight. The movie is a complete lesbian movie. It is thoroughly lesbian. Did they send did Mashak send you the before and after pictures? Split screen me with the other thing, split screen me and show her from the last movie to this movie. Now here's what's amazing, and if you can you pull up the story of her wanting, he should have sent that too. The young girl that played his younger sister in the first movie, she, spoiler alert, give you a second.
You told
she becomes the Black Panther, and she plays a full-out dyke in the movie. And the relationship with the scientists that they go to to get Israelite relationship. It is so evil. And they even bring together something that's even doubly evil. They bring together black women, young black women who've lost their parents and have fallen into lesbianism because of it. Because they kill off the mother, the queen mother, Angela Bassett, and they kill off, and her father is killed off. And then these two lesbians come together. Now, they don't show a sex scene or them kissing or anything, but anybody worth their salt can obviously see that this is the projection of a lesbian relationship. And this is so evil against the Lord's chosen people. The scenario that's being delivered is that this is going to be that lesbians are going to lead the way to us having a nation. That's the subliminal message going throughout the whole film, is that these lesbians and these bald-headed dykes are going to become the new leaders of black people, coupled with African culture, and they are going to lead the nation of black people free. And brother, it is horrible. That movie, meaning it's a well-produced movie. They spent $250 million. Special effects are out of this world. The movie itself as a theatrical production is second to none. They spent the money to it. But the psychological propaganda being delivered through that movie is satanic on another level. And here's what blew me away, if I could, and I'm gonna have Yedaya. Yedaya, you able to pull up the before and afters? Okay. I want Yedaya to pull up the before and afters of her in the first movie and her in the second movie, and it's gonna be obvious to you what it is to see. And I'm gonna get to the part about I.S.U.P.K in a second. But in this part, okay, it's so evil in that the same people. Now, let me show you the real world. Let me show you the fake world and the real world. In the fake world, okay, in the fake world, you black people are going to become citizens of Wakanda. You are going to pour your heart out for the rulers of Wakanda, a fake nation with a bunch of mixed up African cultures, put it in there, which is going to make you a slave under the Africans, because the whole movie makes the Africans better than us, okay, in the movie, and makes us have to follow the Africans even in our best technologies. It was so sad. And here's the sad part. The people who made the movie Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, are the same people that are telling us we can't say that we're the black Jews. So in the real world, they canceling Kanye West. In the real world, you niggas can't say that you're the real Jews. But we, being Hollywood, with the wealth and power that we have, we'll tell you what your identity will be. Your identity is Wakanda, a mixed up African fake society that we created for you to love and have passion of. Brother, people were coming out of the movie theater crying in tears. Okay. People were in the movie theater gasping when the mother died. I mean, I understand the passion of watching a movie, but this was more than the passion of watching a movie, y'all. This was you being brainwashed into the mindset that Wakanda and Black Panther was your life and your future and your way out of hell and your way to be a respected society. And it was evil as hell. And of course, you're going to be led by, a couple of dykes from Black Lives Matter, something like that. It was terrible. Now it was just one part. You was going to say something, Jim?
It's like this thing, if you try to be this, it's just too much hair, too much controversy, too much drama trying to be this. But look at this. If y'all just be Wakandans and look at the technology, and they so smart and so fierce, you can have this. Why fight and try to be this other thing where everybody gets in trouble? Be these Africans, smart.
Yeah, no, listen, you're right. Don't be this. You're not going to be a Jew. Stop trying to be a Jew. Stop claiming to be a Jew. But we're going to give you a society. You're going to be Wakanda, a fake African world. This is what you're going to be. Put on African garments. And listen, here's what bothered me a lot. In the first movie, I saw them dressed up as Africans. And it was clearly weird to me that these English-speaking black actors wearing these African garments was not really realistic. But this time, they got so good at it that it was almost, they blurred the lines. So and I know tons of black people are now going to become slaves to the Africans. Like, you're going to look at them Africans like they Wakanda. You're going to look at them Africans like they special. You're going to be folding your hands talking about Wakanda forever. I heard that some young boys did a dance in the theater for Wakanda with the hands crossed and all this. Once again, our babies believing in a fictitious nation while the people that made the movie deny us the truth about who we really are.
That's right.
It is heinous before the Lord what they doing in that daggone movie and what they putting out and what they pouring into us. Like, we got hope in the movie, like this could be our way. This is who we are. And the dikes will lead us out of this hell. Like I felt sad for Christ. I felt sad for his kingdom. I felt sad for his inability to come and bring justice on this earth. And I felt sorry for those who have come against him, because his day is coming. And his punishment shall be severe for what has been done to the people of the Lord psychologically in movies like this. This is an extremely evil movie. And the sad part is black people love it. Black people are talking about it like it's a triumph of black achievement. It had a black director and black people majority in the film, and it was amazing. I heard they made almost $1 billion on it. $1 billion off of this movie. It's going out all over the world. And it is, and let me tell you something, what you do not see is the 5 years from now when the Africans are treating you like dirt. What you do not see is when the Africans begin to look at you like you're the filth and that they are the honorable people. What you don't see is when white people start to now watch this, because millions of white people watch. The theater was 50% black, 50% white. And what you don't see is that when the white people start to treat the Africans the way you've been begging these people to treat you, when you see that, you're going to feel humiliated. When they start choosing them over you, you are going to feel humiliated as a people. And it's going to demoralize you even more, if not for Christ's return. It's going to demoralize you so horrible. What else? Of course, they pit us against our I.S.U.P.K brothers. Made them have a war. Shamed the I.S.U.P.K brothers as though the Mayans and the Incas went to live underwater when the Mayans and the Incas was slaughtered by the conquistadors. Talk about they disappeared. They ain't disappeared. You murdered them. Like you murder everybody. You understand? But shamed them and made them look like they went into the water and survived and became better in the water and came about the water. And of course, made them evil and vicious towards black people, keeping the separation again. And the only thing that could bring them together is the bull dagger Black Panther that beats the I.S.U.P.Kites and takes over and then, and forces them to a peaceful solution. They want to put lesbians over black people. That's what this movie is saying. And you can look at it like, oh, it's just a movie. You've been dumb and stupid for 400 years anyway. You be an asshole, excuse my French. You be an idiot now. And let this propaganda just rape your people's mind. And you're going to see the results of it. And it's going to be sad, man. It's going to be sad. Wakanda for never. Christ's kingdom forever.
That's right, sir.
You understand? That's what should be forever. So there's so much more I could put it in here. Y'all want me to go on, but we at the mark right now. So, I'll leave it alone. Y'all want me to do more, just let me know. Send me a text, email, messenger, whatever. I'll do some more on the review because there's a whole lot more. I didn't even go into all the little detail the symbolism that they had going on in the movie. It was just an evil movie. And you had to have a great if you got understanding of the truth, and you got understanding on how movies brainwash people, if you have an understanding on propaganda, but most importantly, if you have an understanding of the scriptures and what Christ's kingdom is about and what his agenda is, you will see that movie and see that these men are the workers of Satan. And they are diligently working for Satan to destroy your mind, to give your mind no way to wake up and come back. And brother, they're going to do it. Now, let me tell you what the agenda is, which is clear. The agenda is clear. Break up the family, put the lesbians in charge, and submit you under the Africans. Now remember these words I'm saying to you now, because 2-3 years from now, you're going to see it manifest. You're going to have plenty of lesbian politicians in charge, plenty of lesbians in academia, plenty of them in full authority over the black community. And you'll see them in full submission with Africans. And the last vesture of straight black women will be flocking to involve themselves with Africans, okay? Flocking to do it. And they even shame the Haitians in the movie by hiding among them. But again, it's 11 now, so it's up to y'all. If y'all want to go more into it, we can go more into it. Let me know, y'all, and we'll go more into it. But it was, I had to see it anyway, and my niece, I promised her I would go see it, so I went with her to see it. And I told her also, I said, you know I'm going to give it a horrible review. She knew it too. She wanted it straight up. And so here it is. It is a proper, like propaganda is real. Brainwashing is real. Your people are the top. And they are doing you in 6 ways to Sunday, which is why they do not want it to come out that blacks and Latinos and Native Indians in America are descendants of the lost 12 tribes of the children of Israel. And let me add one more last thing that was so heavy. We didn't bring it out tonight, but there was a article out about this same young girl. She's a Benjamite from the Caribbean. I think she's in England by way of the Caribbean. I think she's from Guyana or one of them. And do you have the article by any chance? Where she said she was conflicted with doing another Black Panther movie because she said she knew it was against her religion. Now, this was a sister trying to hold on to serving Christ, but of course, in that church and millions of dollars on the line, them spineless Black people didn't stop her. And millions of people cheer her as a hero for doing the movie and getting all the money that she's getting out of the movie. When meanwhile, she was sincerely conflicted based on her belief in the Lord. She was trying to hold on to the Lord and knew the movie was propaganda against the Lord. But eventually she caved in the end. You found it? No? Let me see if I can give it to you real quick, just to give y'all a taste of this thing.
But good, so while you're doing that, sir, you know, this much sounds like how you broke down how putting Obama in office. How putting him in office will give all the false sense of us being a superior people, being something good happening to us, when it's much the same thing. Putting another nation on top of us. Yeah, much the same exact thing. I never forget the analogy you used. It stays in my brain that with us, you can wrap doodle on a Snickers bar and give it to us, and we think it's a real Snickers bar. Like, that's us. And once again, all these things falls on the back of our so-called leaders. They letting all the propaganda hit us without telling us it was the real deal and showing the truth according to the Lord, except for in the I.S.U.P.K. Damn.
Right. Okay.
And then I was listening to the radio station today, right? And it was, I forgot what station it was. And the female on the radio station said, she was so hyped about the Wakanda movie. She said, it's got to be in Wakanda somewhere here on the earth. There's got to be in Wakanda somewhere. Like, she was so hyped about Wakanda, like, it's got to be one somewhere where she can go and live the Wakanda life.
Can I read something for you? Yes. How they plan? This is how you know this is propaganda. And I'm gonna come back to the story of her discontent. This is from the digitalspy.com. Talks about different movies and stuff, and the promises that the movies seek out to make. All right. Here's what it says. It says Wakanda Forever is now in cinemas and it can escape the crushing weight of expectations. While the film is entertaining and moving, particularly in how it handles Chadwick Boseman's death and Shuri's journal in the wake of it, the film has to fit into the MCU's greater plot machinations and its family-friendly values. For what feels like forever, this ethos has meant that while we can watch Iron Man blow people up in the desert, we can't see two dudes kiss, nor can we say the word libido or address masturbation without it needing a puncture. This is what they want. Wakanda Forever does a lot very well, but it doesn't do one thing that Marvel has vocally set out to do: queer representation. Yes, again. Besides Eternals, which feature a gay character and his family, which is hardly inherit the story as Kevin Feige claimed, Marvel has been consistently patting itself on the back for much less. So in other words, they're upset that Marvel didn't do enough to represent gays and masturbation. They want all that in the film. Like, this is a disgusting, evil madness that's going on here. Okay? They mad that it didn't have more. You found it?
Oh, I can add to that.
Say again?
Oh, I can add to it.
Come on with it.
If I may, sir, the reason why they're so upset with Marvel is because on the other side of DC Comics, they caved in. They made Aquaman a black man who was the son of a revolutionary character. Black Panther was pro-black. They made his son Aquaman, who was black. The new Aquaman, made him homosexual. Like, DC has a long line. There's a documentary on HBO Max about how Millstone Comics, which was black owned, got bought up by DC, and now they're starting to gentrify and make a lot of their black and Latino characters gay. And they feel as though Marvel should be on the same wavelength to become more, you know what I mean, eccentric to what's going on with the LGBT community. So that criticism is on, by their worldview, necessary because DC already jumped ship and sold out.
And once again, they don't complain. That's when you'll see some complaints. You're gonna see some complaints, not for the white man slaughtering us in the streets, starving us in this society, but you're gonna see some complaints that they can't have more gay and lesbians on the screen. It'll show you how sick we are and how sick our leaders are. If anybody wants to see, we're gonna get up out of here, but if anybody wants to see the sister who spoke about her Christian values and quitting acting, you can look up Lolita Wright testimony. Lalisha Wright, or Lalisha Wright talks obeying God. She has a couple of YouTube videos out where she talks about how she was considering quitting acting to go serve the Lord. But you see they went out because anybody that gets the before and after, was you able to put up the before and after pictures? Okay, anybody that looks at the before and after pictures between the two movies could see that they obviously was trying to portray a lesbian woman dealing with another lesbian woman. So that's why the truth is so important that it comes out. So pay your tithes, support the truth. ISUPK.com is the website. Question. ISUPK.com is the website. We'll see y'all next time live on the UPK. Big shout out to